What's up, Bot Fam? I am here with Mike Yan, the amazing co-founder and CEO of ManyChat. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by. Absolutely. I know today's a crazy day for you with messenger policies changing tomorrow, and as well for the team. I've been talking to them a lot. But what I want to talk about with you today is the state of chat marketing right now, and then the future as you see it from your unique perspective. And I'll kind of dive into some questions and stuff too. But
so I think that the main thing that we all have to recognize is just whatever one of the top of mind things right now, as you've said, is the changes that are coming to the platform. And I think that the long-term vision that we all have to just recognize is the fact that the way people communicate has changed, and like no amount of policy changes or anything is gonna mess with that. The idea is that there's billions of people who are using chat channels like Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram Direct, SMS to connect with each other. And the way businesses connect with their customers is always going to be mirroring the way people connect with each other. So if we take mobile, which is right now accounts for the majority of the traffic on US web. And it happened, like everybody was talking about the mobile revolution for like 10 years now. Yeah. And every year was the year of mobile, but like actually only in November 2019 has mobile actually overtaken desktop traffic in the US. And for the first time in history, there's been more mobile traffic than desktop traffic overall. The thing is, sales are also on the brink of changing. Like right now, 45% of US sales are done on mobile. That is going to go up to 54% in 2021, which again makes mobile the place where, like the default, the place where people actually not only browse, but actually do and actual sales and transact. So now the question is, how are you going to be talking to your customers on mobile? And it's going to be email, it's going to be voice. And in my presentation yesterday, I basically outlined the fact that actually it's going to be like everything points to the fact that it's going to be chat. And so chat marketing is just getting started. Facebook is really, really interested in making sure that e-commerce, lead generation, and live chat work really well on the platform. And if they wanted to, like, it just the way that they've done even the change, they've postponed it and said, okay, we realize there's lots of really valuable use cases. That's why we are implementing the one-time notification. So I'm sure your audience is tech savvy and like knows all about the changes that are happening. So one-time notification is one of those really cool things that you'll be able to use to re-engage your customers. And like we can dive deeper into the actual how it works and why we believe it's
actually maybe
really
let's
cool
do that
thing.
right now. There's some other things that I definitely want to cover with you as well, because there's obviously so many different things we could go over, but I think right now, because this is the most relevant thing, let's dive into that a little bit.
So one-time notification is actually a way for a business page to ask a person for an ability to send them one more message after the 24 hours. But it's not just one more message, because those notifications are stackable. So you can actually ask for multiple one-time notifications, and it's all about user consent. So if your content is valuable, if the person actually wants to receive it, the person can actually give you the permission to message them beyond 24 hours for those one-time notifications. And once you get it, like you can send that message, and actually if the person engages with that message, that opens the 24-hour window. It also opens a 7-day window for live chat. So that's how it works.
I think that's a really key point for people to understand there. Just to repeat that, when someone re-engages with anything, whether it's a message tag, one-time notification, someone opts in, talks to you in a different way. Now that standard messaging window is open, and I think the key part there too is you have 7 days now open for live chat. And I think a lot of people just haven't taken the time to fully understand it. And so they're like, oh, I can't message people anymore, but they just don't understand that once they're in that window, now you have the flexibility again. And so just understanding how to manipulate that in a sense for your best use cases and for your users.
It's there. You have to understand Facebook is balancing end user experience and business value. And what they're basically creating right now, sure, you have to actually learn the policies, learn the rules, learn all the features. But once you do that, actually, there's a lot of things that, like I've just mentioned, like the 9 ways to re-engage people after March 4th, and like you got the 24 hours, and like that's actually a very if you think about it, like the person who just engaged with you, lots of people think that 24 hours is like I can reply to the person, and that's like how they view it. They like if you think about it, you can actually message and follow up with a person on the next day when like they have already like it's not in the same conversation, that you're basically starting a new conversation, and if the person engages with that, once again, like it starts a new 24-hour window, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's the first one. The second one is the live chat for 7 days. The third one is one-time notifications, which allows you to message people beyond 24 hours. The fourth one is message tags. So message tags, if your use case falls into the use cases of the eligible message tags, you still have access for all of those cases to your audience. So if you have confirmed event update, if you have post-purchase update, if you have an account update, all of those things you can still do through Messenger. You also have the sponsored messages. Sure, there's like people like are talking about delivery rates and issues, etc. But the actual numbers for like the CPMs and the cost per conversation are actually pretty good, because not a lot of people are using that channel. So you got the sponsored messages. You got also the SMS to Messenger and the email to Messenger. So ManyChat allows you to get the phone number of the person and the consent, same for email, and re-engage the person using those channels and get people back to Messenger. If the person clicks on the ref URL, that actually, again, restarts, even without like messaging the business or anything. If they click on the ref URL, it restarts the 24-hour window for standard messaging and the 7-day window for the live chat. You also got the click to Messenger ads, which is kind of like a retargeting for Messenger. So person, let's say they like didn't message you, didn't give you one-time notification, your use case doesn't fall into message text, you can actually get them back into the Messenger experience. And once they do that, again, starts a 24-hour window, starts a 7-day for live chat, gives you an opportunity to get that one-time notification, etc. And also organic re-engagement. I think building experiences that keep people coming back, I think that's an important piece of that. If you're doing a course or if you're doing a challenge, if you have something valuable to share with a person, first of all, like make sure to like re-engage within 24 hours, get those one-time notification tokens. But you can also tell the person whenever you have, like whenever you want this content, whenever you want to get that workout, whenever you need that, you can engage. Again, once the person engages, you have the 24-hour window Sunday for the live chat. So I think it's definitely not a easy, straightforward experience. You have to learn how the policies work, how the features work. But I think it's also really cool because people who actually take the time to learn how the features work, how the policies work, they're like magicians, because they can do stuff that people outside who didn't like actually learn how this works, they think that this is impossible, that might be breaking the rules, or this is even like this is not supported by Facebook Messenger. But if you dive deeper, you're like, oh, actually, I can do a lot of stuff with this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think one of your team members, Will, yesterday was like, it's like graduating college. I was like, that's a good analogy. It's like all the people who aren't taking the time, they're being lazy. I think in all honesty, there's a lot of information education out there. You guys have a great guide. You guys do an amazing job putting out constant education about here's how it is, in the simplest terms possible, so that you don't have to go and read Facebook's version, but you can understand
but
from
it's a long one.
Yeah. I know it is
like
very long.
page
So again, people are a little bit lazy though, right? So I'm glad that you just broke all those 9 ways down though, so that hopefully people understand. Yeah, like you said, you can be a magician. You can really understand how to create the best experiences when you take the time to know everything in the policies and whatnot.
But that said, I want to make it clear that you want to have an independent channel. You want to capture that phone number. You want to capture that email. And because like we've been talking with Facebook. Facebook is talking about like either doing like a paid one-on-one with guaranteed delivery. They're like considering that option. They're also thinking about other things that they could do because they're very, like, again, they're very bullish on making sure that Messenger and WhatsApp and Instagram work for businesses, because this is the key to their growth in the future. Like you've said, Mark, last year, talk about how private social platforms are going to be even more important than the public ones. So he is very bullish on that, and the number of messaging app users this year is going to overtake and there's going to be more messaging app users than social media users. So this is why they're taking this step and keeping this in mind. So people who are like, this is what I want people to understand. This is an inevitable future. Like you can have there could be bumps in the road. Facebook can do this and that with the policy. It doesn't matter. People on mobile communicate through SMS and messaging apps, and businesses will have to adopt those channels if they want to be a part of that conversation. So either you're going to be left out of the conversation, or you're going to learn how to actually leverage this. And Facebook is always going to be changing stuff. Apple Message is going to be changing stuff. Google right now is coming out with a messaging surface for organic search. So that's a really cool thing. And guess what? All of those things, Apple Message, RCS, Google Search Chat, all of those things are in beta and are going to be changing. The question is, do you want to be investing your time into your education to be on the top of that wave? Do you want to be the one who actually gets all the cream of the crops, because you've invested in you're the innovator, you're the early adopter, or you want to wait, make sure that the innovators and the early adopters figure it out. Sure, they're gonna it's gonna take energy from them. They're gonna get bruises and they're gonna get all the things. But they're also going to be the ones who are going to get all the cool results. Now, it's going to be much easier when it becomes the majority starts to adopt it, when all the APIs are going to be figured out, et cetera, et cetera. But you're not going to get the same results. So
absolutely agreed with that. And to actually talk about some of the other messaging platforms in your expert opinion, since you have so much knowledge, just top of mind constantly, since you live and breathe this stuff, in the long term, do you see businesses having to utilize every single messaging platform and be omnipresent, just like a business has to right now with social media? Or do you think that it'll be a little bit more niche down, where maybe every business will have 1 to 2 messaging platforms that they really focus on and they don't worry about the rest?
Yeah, so I think with every business is going to be a bit different. So even with social, some businesses do a lot, some businesses do just one. So it depends on the business. I do think that if you think about US, then there is SMS, which you cannot ignore. Everybody has SMS. It's just an infrastructural channel. It has super high open rates, super high CTRs. We've just did an integration. We have the best in class interactive SMS.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way. It's an amazing product. I've been talking to Dima a lot, back and forth.
So everybody should try it. Everybody should just you should be building this is the independent channel, and it's the best independent mobile channel. So you should be definitely building that list. So that's one. Facebook Messenger, not going anywhere. You have everybody uses Facebook. You have to be on Facebook Messenger. You have to provide that option for people, because some people really like to that. They would prefer if you place. There was a company that basically was first present only on Messenger and then added SMS as a way to contact them. And the way that the audience split was basically 40% went to Messenger and 60% went to SMS. Sure, SMS got the majority, but you still have the 40% who preferred Messenger. So you cannot and that's over I don't know how many thousands of people. So you have to have that channel. Now, the third one is going to be iMessage. iOS has 55 penetration in the US in the US population. So when you have over a half of US mobile over US traffic being iOS, that all of those people have iMessage, and you cannot ignore that channel. So that's already 3 that I think will, like, every company will need to adopt. Now, you also have Instagram and WhatsApp. WhatsApp is growing in the US. It's much more prevalent around the world, but it's growing really fast in the US too because of the international travel, because of people coming from South America, etc. So there is, and Europe. So this is, WhatsApp is going to be very important. Instagram, for a lot of businesses, it's one of the main channels for connecting with customers. For other businesses, it doesn't do that much. So for those that it does, obviously you will want to also have Instagram as a part of that mix. So now we're talking about 4 to 5 channels. And the last one, I think, is going to be very important, is Google's organic search entry. So right now, Google is working on, whenever you search for something on mobile, as a business, you're going to be able to provide the customer an option to message you right from the search results. So basically, imagine you're searching for, I don't know, a new hoodie, and the search results with the e-commerce stores pop up, and there is a chat with us button right in the search results. You don't have to go to the website. When you click on that, that opens the chat interface that is powered by Google, and the APIs go to ManyChat or any other platform. So basically, you're going to be having chats through Google search. And I do not think that that's going to be something that companies can ignore too. So there's going to be lots of mobile messaging is a really fragmented space. There's no there's no platform like email. And oh, by the way, email. The majority of emails are read on mobile. So like you cannot, and like email is almost free. So it's going to be ROI positive. And that's why ManyChat has also integrated with email. So the thing is, I don't think that's like, we're coming from a world that it was predominantly desktop based. Desktop commerce is still on top, at least until 2021. So, and the one-on-one direct communication channel on desktop was email. So basically your email marketing software was the way that you connected with your customers. Now you started like to see web live chat, etc. That became also important. But right now in the mobile world, like there's all these communication channels, there's all these messaging surfaces. As a business, you will want to make sure that you don't want to be going after all of them. It's not like you're not like trying to catch them all. Like what you're trying to do is basically provide the best experience for your customers and increase conversions by doing that. And that means that you really have to understand what your customers, what channels your specific customers are using, and provide those channels as a way to contact your business and as a channel to re-engage your customers.
Absolutely. Awesome. And actually kind of bring it back to today then, for someone who is trying to just make sense of what they should do right now in terms of their marketing strategy, but also involving chat marketing in their sales and their operations, customer
support. Go to School
support.
of Bots and learn from this lady, because it's going to be like, it used to be that you could just go in, start building your messenger list. I think right now, educating yourself about how the platform works, making sure that you apply it properly is going to be really, really important. And like one of the, like, sure, I can suggest a really simple campaign to start with. It would be something like, the majority of your traffic is probably mobile. So what you should do is you should probably stop capturing email. You should start capturing phone numbers, create an overlay to capture phone numbers, build out your phone number list, and do more of SMS type of automation. But SMS is a really, really private and personal channel. That's why it has such high engagement rates. So you should be very, very careful about what you're going to be saying to your customers and how often. Giving them controls and setting the expectations. There's two things that I think are going to be really important for SMS marketing. First is setting the expectations. Like I think with email, everybody became very open to the fact that if I give out my email, I'm just gonna get like whatever messages from this company. And it became okay because email doesn't generate a notification, and you read it on your own timeline, and it seems to be doing just fine with that modus, like with that model of operation. Now, with SMS, it's different because SMS is a very, very high signal channel. So with SMS, I would suggest, first of all, making sure that you set the expectation and that you actually ask the person about, for example, how often do they want to receive messages from you? Like with email, like some companies do that, most actually do not. Doesn't seem to be a lot of value in doing that, but with SMS, it's highly valuable because some people actually will want to hear from you multiple times a week. They're your core fan base. They're your raving fans. Some of the people will want to hear from you once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every month, once every quarter. So, but that is better than ruining that relationship and losing that relationship. It's better to have access to your customers at least once a month with super high engagement rates than not having that access at all. And I think it's really, really important to provide frequency controls with SMS. The other thing that I would suggest doing with SMS is what I call continuous opt-in. So for example, if you're thinking about doing let's say a welcome series or a drip campaign, with email, you don't ask like people like, hey, would you want to, like, you're just like, I'm just gonna send a welcome series and I'm gonna educate you about my business, and like, if you archive those messages, well, so be it. With SMS, every message is gonna generate a notification. So you should really ask the person, hey, like, we have this valuable thing, and it should be valuable. It shouldn't be just like random content that is just not important, not valuable to the person. So, hey, we have this highly valuable course or challenge, or we have this the series that educates about the market or the space. Do you want to hear from us? It's going to be, and you should tell it. I would actually talk about like the exact, like, I would say like, it's going to be 5 messages for 5 days, and like you can opt out at any time, etc. So once the person gives you that opt-in, it's like they already gave you, like, technically they already gave you opt-in to message them when they gave out the phone number with the, yeah, it's to comply with policy. Like if you had the checkbox, if you had like all the legal things written out, you, like, there's nothing stopping you legally from like doing that, like welcome series or whatever. But I would take it a step further. I would think about how would you want that company to communicate with you over this high signal channel. And I think that everybody would want companies to be very mindful of the attention and of the fact that it's
very direct, right? And
yeah.
just, I think a lot of people are scared to do that because that's never been the common practice. As you said, with email, it's just very blatant. Like no one thinks about getting an opt-in or a yes from someone once they've given their email for other series or other campaigns. But I think people have a little bit of a fear to say, what if a lot of people say no? And if that happens, so be it. You just need to adjust your message and, you know, find more of the people who are really interested.
But think about those who say yes, because people who are actually going to opt, sure, maybe it's not going to be everybody who opts in, but those people who do opt in, those people are going to read your messages. You're going to get 10x, 20x CTRs in those messages. So like just Molly did a case study with us recently with using SMS. She gave out her phone number and she was selling like a $3,000 course. It's a high ticket purchase, so like it's a lot of people had their reservations, their questions about it. So what she did is said, hey, here's my number, text it, like we can answer your questions, etc. And people started texting that number, and they've made over $30,000 in sales just through answering those questions over text. That's it. Like it was a really simple campaign, but like it just shows you the power, because all of those messages went back into the ManyChat's live chat, and like it was people were, she has a team of people, like several people who are answering those questions really fast. And once you get into the interaction phase, so when you're just talking at the customer and you're not getting any feedback from them, that's not a good sale. Like you're not actually having that rapport. as soon as the person engages with your messages, and that's what SMS and messaging apps are really great at, is like getting that engagement. That becomes a conversation. Now you can actually ask them like, so like, what questions do you have? And people are like, am I going to be able to apply this to this? Like, I'm in this industry. Is this going to be valuable for me or not? Like, and the person is going to just tell you like, hey, this is going to be valuable for these and this. And yes, like we have the course and the section that's going to be really valuable. And like, they're going to basically help you make the decision. And like Molly's content is always like top notch. So like people who take that course are going to make much more than $3,000 like by getting more business through Facebook ads. So it's great that they actually sold out. So I like, yeah. So actually, like, we are really proud to be a part of that, that fact. So the other thing that she did is like she actually did broadcasts about her webinar. So like she captured phone numbers on a landing page, uploaded them to ManyChat, got the consent through the landing page, and then she did a broadcast saying like, hey, we are starting a webinar. Like the webinar is going to be tomorrow. Like come like register here. They got a bunch of registrations from the SMS campaign. And after that, people started saying things like, they just replied to that message saying like, hey, I'm actually going to be flying. I cannot make it to the webinar. Can you send a replay to me? And they're like, sure. And they tag the person inside the system. And then whoever wanted the replay, they just sent it out and said like, here's a link to the replay. So now this is a really cool part of like combination of, you do like, if you think about email, like when you do a broadcast, like you're not going to be like, not a lot of people are going to actually reply to that broadcast. Like, let's be honest. With SMS, they got a bunch of replies because people are like, if you set that expectation that it's not and I think a long number actually does a lot of that, because like when you get a message, when you get a message from the long number, you're like, when you get a number from the short number, you're like, oh, this is an automated message, etc. When you get a number from a long number, there's much more trust in that message. And like one of the things that people are asking of us is like, can we provide like not short codes, but local phone numbers, so for like local businesses that are, so we're actually working on that right now, and I think it's going to be like in the first half of this year we're going to like provide that option. But yeah, this is the thing. It's a high signal channel. You should treat it really carefully. It's a really powerful tool. So as with any powerful tool, you should be mindful of how you use it, because the results that you can get if you use it correctly are just through the roof. So
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Yeah. This was super insightful, and I know it's going to bring a lot of value to people, whether you are already using SMS in your business, but maybe struggling to figure out an exact strategy as to how you want to approach this, how you want to create an experience for your users, or if you're totally new to using SMS in your business or for your clients. I know that all of this is very unique knowledge that is hard to find all in one place. So I really hope you guys find this interview valuable, and thank you so much again for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Alrighty. Cut.